Welcome to the Dreamit Dose. Board meetings can be very powerful events where startup founders get great feedback, ideas, and strategic direction. But oftentimes, board meetings are dreaded by founders and don't deliver maximum value. Instead of looking at a board meeting as a low ROI event, let's turn it around and highlight the key items founders can do to make it a highly productive and positive experience for everyone. Let's dive in. Dreamit Ventures has been investing in great early-stage startups for over a decade. The Dreamit Dose allows us to share best practices to help even more founders. Tell us about your great startup using the links below. The first thing I want to cover should happen before the meeting, setting the right agenda. Typical key agenda items I like to see discussed are the CEO update covering key wins and challenges, core metrics and KPIs that drive your business, company financials, organizational and HR issues, product development and delivery, and 2 to 3 key topics you want to deep dive with the board. I'll cover a great trick to zero in on those key topic areas later in this dose. As you think through your board meeting agenda, it's important to remember to review your proposed agenda with your board chairperson. One role of the chairperson is to confirm the board meeting agenda. So make sure to get on the same page with your chairperson before you start fleshing out the full update. Okay, the next item I want to cover is a big mistake I see the vast majority of founders commit. They treat a board meeting as a status update. They'll write up their board deck, create slides, and spend 80% of the meeting time presenting those slides to board members. Reading status update slides to board members is a highly deleveraged and ineffective use of everyone's time. Instead, a board meeting should be more of an 80-20 split. 80% should be spent going deep on key issues, and 20% should be used for status update type slides. To do this correctly, founders need to create the board update documents and send them to members 2 to 3 days before the meeting. When you send it out, make sure to mention that you're expecting them to read the update in advance of the meeting, and that at the board meeting, you'll just quickly review the status update slides and answer any questions they may have. Point out that the majority of the board meeting will be used to go deep on a few key issues, so you appreciate them reading the materials in advance so you can all be the most productive when together. Next up, I've alluded to focusing your board meeting time on the most important key issues that you're facing. So what's the litmus test to identify the key issues? This one's really easy. It's just 4 words. What's keeping you awake? Key issues are the items that impact your sleep schedule. You know, the issues and concerns swirling in your mind as you try to fall asleep. It's those things that wake you up in the middle of the night or have you up so early the roosters are still asleep. Right there, those are the key issues you want 80% of your board meeting time to focus on. In your board deck, identify the key issues you want to cover. Include any background information that's needed to have a rich discussion, and set aside 20 to 30 minutes per issue to deep dive. It's typical to see 2 to 3 of these key issues per board meeting. Now, another important but often overlooked issue is that of managing your board. Board members hate to be surprised, and I'm talking about negative surprises here. So an important tactic founders should adopt is to reach out to board members before a meeting so you can give them a heads up on any negative topics. This doesn't need to be a long call, just a short briefing on the issue, so the first time they hear about it is not when they get the board deck. And of course, remind them you'll have more information on the topic in the board update. However you do this, just make sure the board members are not blindsided with a negative surprise during the meeting. Okay, the final thing I want to mention, put your board members to work. They're there to add value and advice, so don't be afraid to ask them for help on issues. So what am I saying? I'm saying yes, you can ask board members to take on assignments and to follow up with you. During a board meeting, when a member says they can help you with an issue or are offering strong advice, ask them if they don't mind following up on the issue and to take it on. Make sure that whoever is taking notes writes down that commitment. And then toward the end of the board meeting, summarize those commitments and get a final confirmation of board members' intent to take on those issues. Now, I also have 2 fun facts I want to share with you in a moment, but for now, that's it. Those are the 5 founder tricks for running great startup board meetings. First, set your agenda to cover your key topics, KPIs, core reporting areas, and make sure to get buy-in on the agenda from your chairperson. Second, remember that the time spent at your board meeting should be 20% status updates, 80% focusing on the key issues, not the other way around. Third, the key issues to focus on for deep dives are strongly correlated to what's interfering with your sleep. Fourth, board members hate surprises. Make sure a board update is not the first time they hear bad news. And fifth, give board members assignments. And as promised, here are those 2 key fun facts. Number 1, do you know why it's called a board meeting? In the 16th century, when groups would have a large organizational meeting, they would put out a board of wood on top of 2 sawhorses and have a board meeting. Number 2, why is the lead board member called the chairman or the chairperson of the board? The person who sat at the head or the top of the board sat in the comfortable chair, and hence they were called the chairman or the chairperson. That's it. That's your Dreamit Dose in about 5 minutes plus 2 fun facts. Please leave your questions in the comments section. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. We have a lot more coming. To see all of our doses, go to dreamit.com/dose. See you next time. The first thing I want to cover should happen before the meeting setting. Oh boy, the banana's not going to work. I had the banana. And make sure to get buy-in on the agenda from your chairperson, so you can all be the most productive when together. Protective? What was that?